Rob Kendall along with Tyler Bless, the head coach of the Plainfield Quakers. Coach, how's it going?
It's going great. How are you?
Great. Obviously, big win on Friday night. Exciting fourth quarter, 34 points between the two teams. What's it like where a game kind of is slow offensively, at least from a scoring perspective, for three quarters, and then it's just the Wild West come the fourth?
Yeah, a little stressful at times. Thought offensively, really, the whole night we were able to move the ball. We were just shooting ourselves in the foot in the red zone in the first half. Kind of got it together, obviously, in the second half. That first drive of the third quarter was huge for us. Went down and scored. But they got hot as well. We really kind of stopped their run. I think they rushed for -2 yards, which is awesome. But in turn, they threw for 313 yards. So that's a problem, but something will get fixed. But really, I was proud of the team for just finding a way to earn victory. It was a great team win. Took all three phases: offense, defense, special teams, and our kids stayed together. They stayed the course, and they found a way to win.
So let's talk about Starnes' performance on the ground. 37 rushes, 268 yards. You guys kind of went back to a little bit more traditional ground and pound that we've seen from you guys the last couple of years. Talk about really that bell cow type running back where you just said, "Hey, it's in your hands."
Yeah, I think that some of that, really in the first half, and I don't know by the numbers, but I felt like we're fairly maybe balanced in that first half. Again, we just weren't able to really get it in the end zone. Second half, we kind of put a challenge to our offensive line and our tight end to hey, we need to go establish the run. We were able to still get out into our passing formations and throw the ball. I thought Bryce did a great job of managing the game. But yeah, we leaned heavily on Luke, and I think he knew that. I think honestly, in a way, they probably knew that. It was just one of those things where we're fortunate to have that kid in our program, and he's a great player. He's a great kid. But ultimately, it was a good job by our offense to just not be selfish and not make it about them and make it about the team and about the offensive unit on, hey, this is what we have to do right now to put ourselves in the best position to win this football game. So I feel like we put egos aside and found a way to get points. Obviously, we're able to do that in the second half. That was huge, and then found a way to cap it off there late in the fourth quarter.
When you have a guy rush the ball 37 times, are you aware of that? Do you talk to him? You're like, "Hey, how much gas you got left in the tank?" How does that go?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of carries, no, I have no idea. Sometimes I black out during games. I think there was parts where we're in our two-back set, and Corn McGill, who's our number two, we went into a different personnel grouping, and Corn comes off, and I can hear him say to our running backs coach, "Hey, he's gassed. He can barely breathe." So I think we got him out for the next play, and he maybe took 3 or 4 plays off. But we've had conversations in the offseason of "Hey, you're our guy. We're gonna take you as far as we can go with it." So I think in the grand scheme of things, he has an idea that a 37 carry night is a possibility. Do we want it to be every week? Probably not. No, especially week 2. But we also want to win football games and put ourselves in a great position to go do things we want to go do.
Strong special teams performance, at least on one side of the ball, a punt return for a touchdown.
Yeah, really. Coach Sloan, our special teams coordinator, does a phenomenal job, but really challenged the entire special teams units this week to just honestly be better than we were week 1. We were 4-1 on our game breakers, and that's a little in-depth stuff, but that means we had positive plays. Obviously, the punt return for a touchdown is a huge one. That sparks a whole entire sideline, a whole entire team in terms of momentum. Got really good blocks from Cohen Vanderbush to Blake Larison to Mason Mantooth. I mean, you can see it on the end zone copy. Obviously, Ty White's a phenomenal athlete, and he keeps his feet running, but there's also guys looking for work and trying to find somebody to just pester for 2 seconds. So to be able to get that going in the first quarter was huge. I thought our punt team, even though we punted twice, that unit did a great job late in the game. Tucker Mitchell with the punt, Tyler Simic with the snap to really pin them back inside the 10 that last drive where they had no timeouts left and a minute on the clock and had to drive it 95 yards. That's a huge field position win for us. PAT was a little bit better. Our kickoff coverage was, I thought, for the most part, pretty tight. We did a good job, staying in our lanes. But plenty of things to continue to work on. But that whole entire phase of the game played a huge factor for us in terms of winning it.
Let's talk about winning a game like that. Obviously, I'm sure you would like to have not seen the opposition put up 20 points in the fourth quarter, but it is an opportunity against a good team to have a close game, and you guys come out ahead. And that, I would guess, sort of builds momentum of, hey, these close games later in the year, we've got the first one, right? It's momentum. We know how to win close games against good teams.
Yeah. I think one thing that I feel like we do a good job telling our kids is you have to go and earn victory. Like, you can't just hope it happens. You can't just wish that it happens. You can't hope that somebody else on the team makes a play. Like, go be the spark. Go be the guy that ignites the flame. And we try to tell our guys as well, like, the teams that we're playing, they practice too. Like, they have good coaches. Like, they take time, and it's important to them. So, like, there's nobody on our schedule where it's just like, oh, that's a for sure one. Lafayette Harrison is no different. I mean, that's a 6A program with great athletes, with good size. They have offensive linemen that are huge. Thought their defensive line played very well. So, like, in terms of making it a team win, I think that makes it much more gratifying, because at times it was, not so good on either offense, and the defense picked us up, or the defense wasn't so good and the offense picked us up. And then, here comes special teams making an impact on it. So, we really hammered home yesterday with our kids in the morning time, like, hey, that's what a good football team does, is that in the ups and downs of a football game, you got to have each other's back. You got to count on your teammate to do their job. When they don't, this is what happens. But, this is why we have, another unit of offense or defense or special teams to kind of come in and maybe, I don't want to say save the day, but just, hey, I got your back. I'm going to do my job, and we're going to go, get a touchdown, or we're going to go pin the punt down deep, and our defense is going to rally to make plays and in the game with 2 sacks. So that's the big message for our kids after Friday's win going into conference play this week.
Yeah, and you touched on this just briefly. Maybe we can expand on it. When you got a guy that runs 37 times for 268 yards, when you got a guy that returns a punt for a touchdown, there's a lot of blocking that goes into that, and it's not just blocking on the offensive line. You've got guys that are skill position players, but that's not going to get you in the newspaper or the Indy Star. But you're every bit as integral as that score in some cases as the guy who's running the football.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I know that we probably always talk about our offense, and we don't really mean to, but, like, our defense had 6 sacks on Friday. Our defensive line, our inside linebackers, our outside linebackers, I thought played really well in terms of just pestering the quarterback. We took some shots on him. I think that was a little bit of the game plan, to pester that kid, not let him just sit back there and slice us up. We wanted to get some shots on him. We were able to do that. Even on our offensive line, we wanted to be better than we were week 1 versus Terre Haute South. I thought that week 1 performance was okay, but turn around and rush the ball for 333 times on 51 carries with an average of 6.5. That's pretty darn good for high school football. I thought our quarterback did a phenomenal job of managing the game. He was 16 of 25 for 130 yards. Like, never really put us in a bad spot. Made chicken salad out of chicken, and found a way to just kind of keep us ahead of the sticks and not put us in really bad 3rd and longs. So I was very proud of him to do that. And then our receivers were hot and cold. To be honest with you, we've got to be better at that spot. We've got to be able to know our alignment, our assignment. But at times when it was time to execute, our kids found a way to catch the ball and get positive yards. So again, it goes back to what I've been saying now for, 10 minutes is it was a great team win.
All right, let's thank our sponsors that make our Plainfield football broadcast possible, both on the Coaches Show and our Friday night broadcast. Frigid Frog, New Wave Solutions, Gunnell Financial, Crone Family Construction, Adrenaline Fundraising, Crest Point Real Estate, Real Estate Coach P, Chris Pearson, Sell with Jones, the Stewart Home Group, Remax Centerstone, Julia Burbridge, Flora Brothers Painting, I-70 Record Service and Garage, Units Moving and Portable Storage, Haynes Roofing and Remodeling LLC, Headquarters Barbershop, Edward Jones, Chris Hoskins, Ellis & Associates, BGW Construction, and Legacy Motorsports. All right, Coach, Friday night back on the road. One of our arch rivals will head to Mooresville. What do the Pioneers bring to the table?
Yeah, the Pioneers are 2-0. They won week 1 versus Bloomington North. Kind of come from behind. They were down 14-0, had some some big plays on special teams, and then their offense kind of got things rolling in that second half. So they were able to win that one on the road at week 1. They hosted Terre Haute North on Friday, who's a program that's probably, to be honest with you, in a rebuild and trying to find just some ways to move forward. So they won that game 48-8. Got a quarterback back, same kid we saw last year. They've got 3 really good receivers. They got a solid running back. I think their offensive line is much improved. Defensively, they're flying around the ball. They're in a different front than normal in past years. Their D-line and their inside linebackers are very active. Back end, they've got obviously their athletes back there. So it'll be a great atmosphere. It always is between those two schools. It's a nice little 5-minute drive for us. So it's kind of maybe a close home game for us. But again, we'll have to have a great week of preparation to get ready to go into conference play, hopefully 1-0.
So you'll be a third of the way through the season after Friday night. Obviously, we're hoping for a big win on Friday. The season goes by very fast each year. But through 2 games, I'll ask you a third after 3, but through 2 games, are you happy with your team's progress? I know you're happy being 2-0, but are you happy with how the team is seemingly getting better from week to week?
Yeah. I mean, I'm generally proud of our players of just how they attack each day. I think they're coming into the building and into school, and they're excited to be around each other, for one, which is a huge thing. Our coaches are excited to be around them, which is a second big thing. Everything is aligned with what we want to do in terms of our goals and our expectations and our standards. I think our players have completely bought into that. We do certain things for a reason. Not every program does that. That's fine. I coach at Plainfield, but I'm happy and pleased with where we're going. Satisfied, no, but I think we're heading in the right direction. We just got to continue to really buy into the process of practicing how we're going to play on Friday night, and not just I'm going to have a good Tuesday practice and, I might be sore on Wednesday and I'm going to try to get through it. And then I know Thursday's more mental. Like, we want to have, really 4 great days of practice starting on Monday and capping it off on Thursday. And then kind of what I say is be ready to ace the test on Friday at 7:00. So I feel like we've got positions that are doing that. We need to be more consistent in all of them. That falls on our job as coaches, but our players have understood and kind of seen the last 2 weeks on what it takes to earn victory, and I'm proud of them for doing that.
Okay, before we say goodbye, let's again thank our sponsors: Frigid Frog, New Wave Solutions, Gunnell Financial, Crone Family Construction, Adrenaline Fundraising, Crest Point Real Estate Coach P, Chris Pearson, Sell with Jones, the Stewart Home Group, Remax Centerstone, Julia Burbridge, Flora Brothers Painting, I-70 Wrecker Service and Garage, Units Moving and Portable Storage, Haynes Roofing and Remodeling LLC, Headquarters Barbershop, Edward Jones, Chris Hoskins, Ellison Associates, BGW Construction, and Legacy Motorsports. All right, Coach, what's 1 or 2 things on Friday night as the fans are listening to the game, if they can't make it out to the contest live, the people should be listening for? If we do these things well, we're going to win on Friday night.
Yeah, a little bit of the same message maybe I just said a few minutes ago was, consistently preparing ourselves and doing everything that we can in practice and in meetings and lifting and school to make sure we're at our best on Friday. An old saying we say here, and probably need to start saying again, is like, if it helps us win, do it. And whether that's your superstitious pregame meal, or hydrating extra, or eating better, or maybe watching another half hour film every night. Like, if it helps us win, do it. If it doesn't help us win, stay away from it. That's staying up late. That's playing video games. That's having a Coke before you go to bed, or eating a crappy lunch. Like, continue to buy into what we're asking our program to do. Continue to have great practices. That's going to lead to a great evening on Friday night. But again, I think our team is starting to understand that it takes everybody in our program to get victories. And that's 75 kids doing their job. Now, that's 11 guys at one play. But I think Friday, at times, on all 3 phases, offense, defense, special teams, you look at the tape and you're like, well, there's 9 guys doing their job right, and there's 2 guys, missed a block or took the wrong step or let somebody come by. Defensively, I could have, maybe timed that blitz up better, or I could have made my read a little bit easier at corner. Special teams, making sure that we're structurally sound on what we're doing. So making sure that all 11 guys on the field at one time are locked in sync on doing their job and not overthinking it, letting their God-given ability to just take over and have a great attitude, have a great effort. I think will lead to a great win on Friday at Mooresville.
All right, Coach. Well, like we said, best of luck on Friday night. Look forward to a big win, and we'll talk to you next Monday, hopefully about a 3-0 squad.
Okay, Rob, before you go,
yes,
I know we usually do this. One person I would like to
yes,
to shout out.
Let me set it up for you here, Coach, because the announcers failed to do his job. Coach, as we always wrap up our program, one or two people behind the scenes who make Plainfield football what it is, who don't get the attention they deserve.
Yeah, this has been a very fulfilling week for me personally. My wife had our third baby, hopefully our third and final baby, on Monday afternoon. We had a baby girl, Clarinetta Lou Bless. So I was out of practice and out of school on Monday and Tuesday. So huge congrats to my wife for doing that, because she's awesome and I, very much love her. But also just the fact that the timing of it is not great. But our football program went on without me. And I think that shows the type of guys that we have in our program, coaches and players and parents and admin and all that, for them to, kind of just keep things in line. And hey, we got to go. We had a plan in place for last week at Tear Up South. If the baby came early, we told our kids about it, way back in fall camp. We're like, hey, this is something that's going to happen. I don't know when, but kudos to our coaching staff to keep things in line. Kudos to our players to have great practices, and obviously spending some time with my family on a work week were a little bit different, but very blessed to do so.
Well, one, congratulations. Two, you as a parent of a young daughter, good luck. And three, kudos to your wife having the baby on a Monday so it didn't disrupt game day.
Yeah, I mean, we had a scouting report, we had a game plan, we executed it.
That's wonderful. Yeah,
things went accordingly to plan.
Yeah, Coach, congratulations on both the win and the addition to your family. Good luck Friday night. We'll talk to you next Monday.
All righty, have a great week.